For our math lesson today, we will be completing our last lesson in Topic 8. Topic 8, Lesson 7 is Look for and Use Structure. Our learning intention for today is I can use patterns and structure to solve problems. We will be completing our last lesson today and then reviewing the rest of the week to take our test on Friday. So let's get started. Our Solve and Share begins on page 349 in our Envisions Volume 2 workbook. Our Solve and Share says, Barry showed the number 42 with cubes. What are some of the ways he could have shown 42? Write the tens and ones to show the ways. Describe any patterns you see in the table. It tells us that Barry showed the number 42 with cubes. That means that Barry sat and counted out 42 individual cubes. They want us to show what are some other ways that Barry could have shown the number 42. We have a tens column and a ones column. Let's begin with just writing the number 42. We know that there are 4 tens and 2 ones. This is one way that we can show the number 42. 4 tens is equal to 40 plus 2 is 42. What are some other ways that we could have shown 42? What if we took 3 tens, that would be 30, 10, 20, 30, and add the rest in ones. If I have 30 and I want to get to 42, I would have to add, 30 plus 10 is 40, plus 2 is 42. 30 plus 12 ones would also give me 42. If I really wanted to add more, I could begin with 2 tens, which would be 20, and add the rest in ones until I get to 42. If I begin with 20 and I need to get to 42, I would have to count how many would I have to add to get to 42. If I begin with 20, I know I need 10, 20, 21, 22. 2 tens and 22 ones gives me 42. This would be the same as saying 20 plus 22 gives me 42. Do you notice a pattern in our table so far? Look at our tens column. It goes 4, 3, 2. The tens column is decreasing by 1 each time. Our ones column goes 2, 12, 22. Each of these numbers end with a 2 in the ones place, but each number is also increasing by 10. 2 plus 10 is equal to 12. 12 plus 10 is equal to 22. Now let's watch our animated video to help us follow along the top of our workbook page 350.
How many ways can you show the number 38 with tens and ones? Is there a pattern? You can make a list of all of the different ways. Then you can look for patterns in your list. What is one way to make 38 with tens and ones?
Select your answer.
One way to make 38 with tens and ones. First, let's look at the number in the tens place. We have 3 tens, and how many numbers are in the ones place? 8 ones. 3 tens and 8 ones is one way to make the number 38.
The answers all show ways to make 38 with tens and ones. How do you know that each of the rows in the table shows a way to make 38 with tens and ones? You could use cubes to show that many tens and ones. Then you would be able to count by tens and ones to see if there are 38 cubes in all.
Let's try it. Select a row of the table to show the tens and ones with cubes. Let's select the first row. 3 tens and 8 ones. Here we have 3 of the tens cubes and 8 of the ones cubes. Let's see what happens when we go to the second row. 2 tens and 18 ones. Here we have 2 tens and 18 of the ones cubes. Now we have 1 tens and 28 cubes, 0 tens and 38 of the ones cubes.
How many ways are there to make 38 with tens and ones? There are 4 ways to make 38 with tens and ones. Look for a pattern. How can it help you? What pattern do you see in the table? As the number of tens goes down by 1, the number of ones goes up by 10.
The pattern helps me check my answers.
Now you know how to use tens and ones to make numbers in different ways.
For our guided practice on page 350, it says make a list to solve. You can use cubes to help you. Talk to a partner about patterns you see in your list. We will be each other's partners. Let's look at number 1. It says, Carly lists all the ways to show 25 as tens and ones. What ways does she list? The first row has been completed for us. we are breaking the number 25 apart into 3 different ways. The first way that Carly showed is by showing 2 10s and 5 1s. 2 10s is equal to 20 plus 5. That gives us 25. Another way that we can show the number 25 is by using 1 10 and counting on the rest. 1 10 is equal to 10. If I need to get to 25, I would have to add 15 more to get there. 1 10 and 15 ones is the same as saying 10 and 15. This equals 25. One more way to show the number 25 is by showing 0 10s and using only 1s to make the number. The number 25 is shown as 25 ones. When looking at our completed list for number 1, I notice a pattern. Do you notice a pattern as well? In the tens column, we began with 2 and we decreased by 1 each time. 2, 1, 0. In the ones column, we increased by 10 each number. 5, 15, 25. In the first row, we had 2 10s and 5 1s. In the next row, we lost a 10 in the tens place and gained 10 in the ones place. The same happened for our last row. We had 0 10s, and since we lost 1, we gained a 10 on the one side. Now let's complete number 2 together to continue our guided practice. For number 2, it says, Andy wants to show 31 as 10s and 1s. What are all the ways? To show the number 31 broken apart with 10s and 1s, we can start first by simply writing the number. 31 is made of 3 10s and 1 1. I can finish my tens column by decreasing by 1 each time. 3, 2, 1, 0. I know that I can continue to fill in my tens column this way because of the pattern I saw on number 1. I begin with 3 10s, and I cannot go up because then that will be bigger than my starting number. So I must decrease my number of 10s each time. 3 10s and 1 1 make up the number 31. 2 10s is equal to 20, so 20 plus what number would give me 31? If I add 20 plus 10, that gives me 30. Plus 1 more would give me 31. 20 plus 11 gives me the number 31. If I have 1 10 and I need to get to 31, that would be like saying 10 plus what number would give me 31? If I have 10 and I count 10 more, that would give me 20, plus 10 more would give me 30, plus 1 more would give me 31. 10 plus 21 gives me 31. You can already notice our pattern. In our tens column, each time we decrease by 1 or tens, we are increasing by 10 in the 1 column. We have 1, 11, 21. Now if I have 0 tens and I can only show the number 31 by ones, I would write 31 in the blank. That brings us to the end of our guided practice. When working in your independent practice, as you are working through your list, begin looking for a pattern. The pattern will help you identify the numbers that you need to complete your list. Let's look at your independent practice beginning on page 351. For your independent practice beginning on page 351, our directions tell us to make a list to solve. You can use cubes to help. For numbers 3 and 4, I will read you the questions. Number 3 says Alma lists all the ways to show 46 as tens and ones. What ways does she list? Our number is 46. Just like we did together in our guided practice, it wants you to show the number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different ways. Begin with writing the number 46 in your list. The number 46 has 4 tens and 6 ones. Now, continue your pattern in the tens in counting down. 3, 2, 1, 0. This shows 30, 20, 10, 0. Write the number of ones that are missing from each number to make the number 46. Now is a good time to pause the video to continue working on number 3. If you need any help, you can turn back to our guided practice to see how we solved the equations there. Again, please pause the video to work on number 3. When you press play, we will begin talking about number 4. Number 4 says Seth wants to show 33 as tens and ones. What are all the ways? If we are showing the number 33, 1, 2, 3, 4 different ways, begin by writing the number 33 in your top row and then working down, just like we did in number 3. We want to show the number 33 4 different ways on number 4. Pause the video now to work on number 4. When you press play, we will begin working on number 5. Number 5 says higher order thinking. Dana says there are 4 ways to show 25 using tens and ones. Is she right? How do you know? Our friend says make a list to help you. Let's make the list together for number 5. One column is for tens, and the other column is for ones. We are working with the number 25. In the number 25, there are 2 tens and 5 ones. That is one way to show the number 25. How many other ways can you make it using your list? Dana says that there are 4 ways. Is she right? Show your work for your list, and then in the blank, you can write, yes, she is right, or no, she is not right. Have your work ready to show to check your answer. Again, now is a good time to pause the video to work on number 5. When you press play, we will be working on our last page, 352. For our last page on page 352, we are going to be problem solving. For both numbers 6 and 7, we are going to be working with the information on the top of the page. It says, bake sale. Rose brings 48 muffins to a bake sale. She only uses trays for groups of 10 muffins. Each plate holds only 1 muffin. How many trays and plates could Rose use to display the muffins? For number 6, it says, look for patterns. Fill in the table to show how many trays and plates Rose could use to display the muffins. Describe a pattern you see in the table. Let's begin with our chart at the top of the page. it tells us that Rose brings 48 muffins. She only uses trays for groups of 10 muffins, and each plate only holds 1 muffin. Let's begin with the first row. If we have 48 muffins and 10 muffins can fit on 1 tray, that means 4 trays would hold 40 muffins, and if we have 48, we would have to put 8 of those muffins on a plate. This would show 40 plus 8, 48 of our muffins. If we used 3 trays, that would hold 30 muffins. How many would have to go on the plate? If the trays can hold 30 muffins and we have 48, how many of the muffins would have to go on the plate? 30 plus 10 is 40. 40 plus 8 is 48. If I take the 10 and 8, that gives me 18. 3 of the muffins could go on a tray of 10, and 18 of my muffins would have to go on a plate. Fill in the rest of the chart, and then for number 6, tell the pattern that you see. Look for a pattern on our trays side and our plate side. Do your best to fill in your answers for number 6 and 7. It's okay if you aren't sure how to spell something, or even if you spell it incorrectly. I just want to see if you can tell me what the pattern is. If you need to shorten your answer, you can write the word tray, which is up on our list, and you can say if it increases by a number, so if it goes up, or you can tell me if it goes down, and then write the number. So if you notice that these numbers are going down by 1, you can say the tray minus 1. Tray goes down by 1. I'll know what that means. And for plates, you can write the word plates. Same on our list as well. And you can just tell me again. Tell me if it's going up by the number, or if it's going down, tell me it's going down by the number. Just to shorten your amount that you have to write for your numbers there. So in number 6, we just want to know the pattern that is shown in the chart after you complete filling it out. And for number 7, it says, is there any way Rose can display her muffins only using trays? And they want to know yes or no. So with Rose and her 48 muffins, is there a way that she could show all of her muffins only using the trays? Remember that the trays are for groups of 10 muffins. So if she wanted to show all 48 of her muffins, could she do that by only using the trays of 10 or no? So for number 7, write yes or no if she could display her muffins using only trays. So you could write no, Rose cannot display her muffins using only trays. So you could copy that whole sentence right there. You could say Rose cannot, or you could say yes, Rose can. Ooh, that's a messy Y. You could say yes, Rose can display her muffins only using trays. So for number 7, that is all you have to do. And once you have finished answering all of your questions, you are all done with your last lesson in Topic 8. We will be reviewing for the rest of the week and then hopefully take our test on Friday. We will be checking your answers during your math intervention time. And since these problems do take quite a while to go over, make sure that you have your work done before we get into group to check our answers. If you have any questions before then, please let me know, and I will be seeing you soon.